What's good, y'all? I'm about to react to his Avengers Doomsday Scene Reveal Gambit movie and Vision Quest details on the Cosmic Wonder channel. Ooh, let's get to this spicy news.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Cosmic Wonder. We have a ton of Marvel news to go over today. Simu Liu was just at
Man, why does YouTube keep updating this stuff, dude? What's up with YouTube, man? They just love doing updates for people. They love to piss people off, especially us YouTubers. Like, come on, bro. Just stick with the script that I like that last update. I don't like this new update. Look at this, dude. They actually like trace everything in white. Like, come on, bruh. Like, I don't even like this. I mean, look how small they even made like the description thing they did with, like, you watch like a YouTuber video. Look how the small their description is right here. Like, you can even barely see. You gotta at least hit the down button to just look at it.
New York Comic-Con, where he was talking about scenes that he was shooting with the X-Men. So Shang Chi X-Men team up confirmed. We have official news from Marvel Studios, from NYCC once again, about the Vision Quest series. They have confirmed the full cast, including a major character that is going to be making his MCU debut. And on top of that, Channing Tatum has revealed a lot about how he views Gambit in his mind, how Gambit is kind of going to be in Avengers Doomsday, and what the Gambit movie from Fox once upon a time was actually going to be like. It was going to be rated R, and according to him, they were going to do a lot with that R rating. So, a lot to
Ain't gonna lie, boy. I would be cool with a Gambit movie, even though Channing Tatum, he really don't got the voice for Gambit. But the fighting skills, he got Gambit right there, so it would be pretty cool to see a Gambit movie, dude. And I heard that there's gonna be a human Ultron that's gonna be in Vision Quest, so I want to see how they gonna do that show. I was not even gonna look at it. I was like, man, they gonna make a show goofy. But I thought they gonna make it probably more goofy, like for like WandaVision. But I enjoyed WandaVision. I enjoyed WandaVision and Agatha though. But it's probably, I'd rather just see him back in Avengers Secret Wars. But I want to see how they gonna do this Vision Quest story with a human Ultron.
breakdown. Let's get into it. And if you love Marvel, be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of the latest Marvel news. So first things first, like I mentioned, Simu Liu reveals that Shang-Chi will share scenes with Professor X and Magneto in Avengers Doomsday. I said they're going to share team-up scenes, but I actually think they're going to share scenes where they team up and where they fight each other as well. We'll get into that, but let's see what he had to say. This is via CNET.
Talents or Patrick Stewart, like just people who I grew up watching and idolizing.
Me too.
And then having gotten maybe having gotten the opportunity to do scenes with them at some point.
Maybe.
That may or may not have been even better. Would be something that I maybe would say if I
would say
in the movie.
Which is.
No, it was. I mean, it was incredible. It was.
And then he says it was incredible.
Like, I can't even describe it.
So this is kind of funny because it seems pretty like pre-planned out, almost.
I ain't gonna lie, I would love to see a fight between Shang-Chi and Magneto. Obviously, Magneto's gonna win, but it would be a cool fight duo between them two. That would be pretty cool, dude. I just thought about it. Magneto versus Shang-Chi. That would be pretty cool.
Scripted with what he said, because he knows what he can and what he can't say. Anything these actors from Marvel go on stage to talk about or do an interview to talk about, they know everything they can say. Marvel briefs them, their publicists brief them, they know. So he kind of beats around the bush, but eventually says that he's like, maybe I did scenes with them, and maybe it was amazing. Maybe that's something I could say if I were in the movie. Well, he has a chair. He's in the movie. We already know this, right? So obviously he shares some scenes with the X-Men. But he specifically talks about Professor X and Magneto, Ian McKellen, and Patrick Stewart. So I think most people agree with this take. The X-Men and the Avengers are going to fight at first. We've been hearing a lot of talk about the Avengers versus the X-Men, a specific scene in Avengers Doomsday.
Yo, this would be cool. They had X-Men 97 come and join the battle. Or they had like animation just come into Avengers Secret Wars. Cause I hope that movie be like a big multiversal movie. Bigger than Endgame ever was. Cause you know back in Endgame they went back to like the past Marvel movies and went back to those universes to get like stuff that they needed, like get like Infinity Stones. And I know Thor even went back to get his hammer from his past movies, so that was pretty cool to see. And then I know Hawkeye and Black, they had to go back and get like a Soul Stone from like a dark place. That was a Red Skull from Captain America, the first Avenger movie. I never knew that was him till I like later on watched the first Captain America movie because I never seen it. So I watched Endgame before Captain America, the first Avenger. But that was Red Skull right there, just giving the Soul Stone. After Black Widow, she sacrificed herself to get a Soul Stone. But man, hope we get like a even bigger, larger, cause it's gonna be a dark movie. Cause I know I remember seeing like one of the Russo brothers, like he was sitting in the dark, like just a dark and alone. Like, yeah, this movie gonna be very dark, dude. But I hopefully can't wait for it.
I believe we get that scene. Again, my theory is that because Doctor Doom attacks the X-Men at the X-Mansion, a character coming from a different universe, when the Avengers go from their universe to the X-Men universe, they might think that they're getting attacked again, which leads to an Avengers versus X-Men battle. Of course, I think this all ends when Monica Rambeau comes out and says, hey, wait, everybody stop fighting. They're from the world I came from, and these people aren't bad. They've actually been taking care of me. That stops the fight. You gotta wonder how a fight would go between Shang-Chi and Magneto, though. Based on whatever material that the rings are made of, if they are made of some type of a metal, which it seems like they are, you would think that Magneto might be able to control them. However, there is kind of a mysticism, a magic that is attached to them. So maybe Magneto might not have full strength over them. And that might be a very interesting scene to see. So I'm all here for a fight between Shang-Chi and Magneto, and then eventually them all being friends and fighting together. If Magneto can kind of control the rings, perhaps him and Shang-Chi could have some killer scenes together. Magneto might be able to control them. The rings are made of. If they are, a fight would go between Shang-Chi and Magneto, though. Based on,
like I just said, okay. Hey, sum it up.
whatever material that the rings are made of, if they are made of some type of a metal, which it seems like they are, you would think that Magneto might be able to control them. However, there is kind of a mysticism, a magic that is attached to them. So maybe Magneto might not have full strength over them. And that might be a very interesting scene to see. So I'm all here for a fight between Shang-Chi and Magneto, and then eventually...
I also wonder, I really want to know how powerful Magneto can get. I seen in X-Men 97 that he like I think he shut down the whole earth. That's how powerful that Magneto was. I'm like, yo, he can really get that powerful. Then I want to know if Magneto can move all the metal around in the world. That's what I also thought. I was like, it gotta be like a specific type of metal that he really can't move. But I really want to see how powerful Magneto can get. I also see how powerful he can get in like it might have been X-Men Days of Future Past when he had on that red suit. I ain't gonna lie, that red suit was badass when he had that on. And this dude, he moved the whole stadium. I'm like, yo, Magneto was different. I ain't gonna lie, but I wonder is there like a specific type of metal he can move in. Shang-Chi and a Magneto fight would be nuts.
Them all being friends and fighting together. If Magneto can kind of control the rings, perhaps him and Shang-Chi could have some killer scenes together, working together to fight Doom. So that's going to be a crazy, awesome scene. Let me know.
I also forgot Magneto. He's also a more powerful character too. But what if he doesn't join Dr. Doom? Ooh. Or does he? Dang, that would be crazy. And I also think Charles Xavier is a more powerful character too. I also think so too. if they don't join Doctor Doom, they might have some powerful. They might have some powerful people on their other squad too that's gonna be joining them. 'Cause dang, the Avengers versus X-Men. I think it's probably gonna be some Avengers, probably people on X-Men, and then X-Men gonna have some Avengers. And X-Men probably gonna have some people on the Avengers squad that's gonna be fighting against each other. But this is gonna be a wild movie.
Oh, if you're excited for that. Now, moving on to Vision Quest at NYCC, Marvel Studios themselves revealed the full cast, and this is actually coming from Marvel.com. It's titled NYCC 2025. Marvel's Television's Vision Quest concludes the trilogy that started with WandaVision. So they confirm it is a trilogy. We have WandaVision, and then we had Agatha All Along, and now we have Vision Quest. They state the avenging.
I enjoyed WandaVision and Agatha. Even though people really didn't like Agatha all along. I don't know how. But I feel like they would try to replicate that show with WandaVision type of way of how they went from like eras to eras. I know like the WandaVision, they went from like the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. Then they just went to modern day. Now I think Agatha, they probably went to like modern. Then it went down to like the 80s, 70s, 60s, 50s. I think they did some type of that. They went down like a weird type of roller coaster type scenes they done had, like different places, the environment on that show. Kind of was a weird show, but I liked Agatha all along though.
Android returns to the silver screen. During the Marvel Animation and Marvel Television panel at New York Comic-Con, Brad Winderbaum, who is the head of Marvel Television, had one final.
I ain't gonna lie, even with the WandaVision show, they went like the particular shows that came out in that era, like they went from like Malcolm in the Middle. I never even seen that. Well, I seen a little bit of Malcolm in the Middle, but I really ain't fully watched that whole series. And they went to I think the Modern Family route with their show too. I think I seen a little bit of Modern Family, but I ain't really watched that show. What else they went back to? I think the Dick Van Dyke Show. That's an old show, but I ain't never like look at it like that. Yeah, they even went back to like shows with that. That was pretty cool to see that in WandaVision. That was pretty cool though.
Surprise up his sleeve. He brought out the MCU veteran Paul Bettany, better known to longtime fans as Vision, of course, to unveil Vision Quest. The upcoming Marvel television series marks the final installment in the trilogy that started with WandaVision and continued in last year's Agatha All Along. Fans also got a sneak peek at footage from the show revealing several key cast members. Henry Lewis as Dumb E from Iron Man, Jonathan Sayer as you, again from Iron Man, the other arm, James D'Arcy as Jarvis, Orla Brady as Friday, and Emily Hampshire as Edith. James Spader also returns as Ultron, of course, reprising.
Dang. Okay, so dang, that's all the Spider-Man voice overs he had with him in the suit. Let me go back and hear that. Let me go hear it one more time.
Better known to longtime fans as Vision, of course, to unveil Vision Quest. The upcoming Marvel television series marks the final installment in the trilogy that started with WandaVision and continued in last year's Agatha All Along. Fans also got a sneak peek at footage from the show revealing several key cast members. Henry Lewis as Dumb E from Iron Man.
Henry Lewis as Dumb E. So he was with him in that cave when Iron Man built his first like suit. Was that him? Man, I can't remember. Cause I remember I was watching FX. I was watching like a cable channel called FX, and they was showing like all the Marvel movies on there. And I looked at Iron Man, then I looked at Iron Man 2 and Iron Man 3. They had his whole franchise on there. But I wonder, was it that dude that was in the cave with him when Iron Man was building his first suit? Cause I remember watching that. So is that him?
Jonathan Sayer as you, again from Iron Man, the other arm. James D'Arcy as Jarvis. Orla
Jarvis. I remember Jarvis. I think Jarvis was from the first, second, third movie. Dang, was he in Avengers Age of Ultron? I think it was. Or was that Friday? No, Friday. No, no. Friday was in Age of Ultron because I think Ultron was trying to take over Jarvis, but I think Jarvis ended up coming back after Ultron really couldn't get the Jarvis like that. Dang, got all the shit. Got all the Iron Man voiceovers in his suit. All his voiceover, computer voiceovers for Iron
Brady
Man.
as
Okay.
Friday and Emily Hampshire as Edith. James
Yeah, these is all the Iron Man voiceovers, computer voiceovers. Okay. Dang, okay. Dang, that's how this gonna play
Spader
out.
also
Okay.
returns as Ultron, of course, reprising his.
Yeah, Ultron. I remember Ultron. I ain't gonna lie, I like Ultron though. But I ain't gonna lie, Avengers, they got him up out of here quick, boy. I ain't gonna lie, Ultron, he was like a computer virus that Avengers really couldn't get a hold of till the end of the movie, dude. I like Ultron, dude. But that, man, it fucked up that they killed Quicksilver, dude. I liked him as Quicksilver, dude, man. God, I hope they bring his Quicksilver back, dude. He really not a pretty good Craven actor. I would love him see him come back as Quicksilver, dude. I love that Quicksilver. I like that Quicksilver better than X-Men Quicksilver from X-Men Days of Future Past. I just love that Quicksilver, dude. Nah, they killed him off so quick, dude. They killed Quicksilver too soon in that movie.
From 2015's Avengers Age of Ultron, and here's the big part. The footage ends with a shot of Ruarid Malika appearing in a CCTV recording where he's identified as Thomas Shepard. Now, I apologize to the actor. I probably butchered their name. I've actually never seen that or heard that before, but I know who Thomas Shepard is. That's Tommy, aka Speed, who is the brother of Billy / Wiccan from Agatha All Along and the son of the Scarlet Witch. So, Vision, like they of Billy's name, I've actually never seen that or heard that before, but I know who Thomas Shepard is. That's Tommy, aka Speed, who is the brother of Billy / Wiccan from Agatha All Along and the son of the Scarlet Witch.
Okay, I remember what you're talking about. Okay. So, yeah, he was like the Quicksilver. Yeah, he was, yeah. Okay, I'm remembering now. Yeah, he was like the Quicksilver, like the small itty bitty Quicksilver. Dad, so he must have like been grown up a little bit. Cause I know Wiccan, I don't know what they're gonna do with him. I like seeing him back in the Avengers Secret Wars. Okay. He must have been a small little Quicksilver. And they even brought back the Quicksilver from X-Men Days of Future Past on her show too. That was kind of unexpected though. She brought him back when he was dead though. Dang. But it's supposed to replicate her other brother, but it replicate like the X-Men Quicksilver, X-Men Days of Future Past. Dang, okay. Wow, okay. That's who he is.
So,
Okay.
Vision, like they said, will complete the trilogy of WandaVision, which is all about really Wanda and Vision's family. That's why the second son, Speed, is finally appearing in Vision Quest. So at the end of Vision Quest, we will have, well, in theory, Wanda on Earth somewhere if she hasn't actually died, which I never really thought she did. Then we will have Billy, who made his return in Agatha All Along. Vision is returning in Vision Quest, and Speed is going to be introduced there as well. He was kind of introduced in Agatha All Along, but now we'll really get to know him. So eventually, this really does seem like a children's crusade comic storyline, where the two children realize that they are the sons of the Scarlet Witch, and they go to find her. And then you just throw Vision on top of that. This looks like a Scarlet Witch family reunion. And lately, we've been hearing talks about the Scarlet Witch returning, and this does make sense. It looks like Marvel Studios is kind of moving towards that. A lot of things have been kept under wraps about the Scarlet Witch, but if this is any indicator at all, and it really does seem like it, the Scarlet Witch should be returning to the MCU soon. Maybe not in Vision Quest, but in Avengers Doomsday maybe. And
I ain't gonna lie, since they got rid of her in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, I really wish they would bring her back and probably in that show. Probably, they might have her come back probably as a post-credit Probably once that show over with, they probably have her as a more post-credit scene if they bring her back. But it would be to have the same respect as Vision showed up in her show, then have her showed up in his show probably as a post-credit scene. That'd be pretty cool. Or probably like a memory that he had of WandaVision in his mind as Vision, as robotic Vision.
To top it all off, Channing Tatum has been doing a lot of interviews for his upcoming movie recently, the Toys R Us movie, and of course everybody's asking him about Gambit, which I love because they're asking him about what the movie he was going to do for Fox was going to be about and how he kind of views Gambit for Avengers Doomsday. He answered both of those. Let's check it out. He hints that Marvel has ideas for the characters, and he says, if the fans really want it, I think there's a world where Gambit could finally get his due, talking about a Gambit movie finally. When asked if the long-lost Gambit movie could ever rise from the ashes, meaning the Fox one they were going to do, he smirked and said this: "Look, if we made our Fox version, the script would have never..."
Dang, is Fox still making superhero movies? I always noticed that. Dang, they still in the business. Dang, I really think like Sony, Marvel, Disney, they really taking over Marvel. Like just Marvel films in general, it's like Disney, Marvel, Sony. I don't know, did Marvel got like their own production? Yeah. Marvel, Netflix. Cause I think Netflix is a part of Marvel too. But that, I just wondered if Fox was still in the business though. They gonna ever make like a comeback or something?
Gotten made ever. It was an R-rated romantic comedy. And when I say R-rated, I mean we went for it. We made Gambit the kind of character who could only exist in a movie with Deadpool. We had mutants having sex. It was wild, full on. That's something Marvel and Disney would never do. You don't always...
Ain't gonna probably might be end up like Peacemaker. That comedy flop. Gambit probably wouldn't have been a Peacemaker DCU project replica. His movie would have turned out. But at least Gambit, he far way better than Peacemaker ever. I think Gambit would beat Peacemaker in a fight. Easily.
Know what Disney will be, but you definitely know what it's not going to be. It's not going to be horror. It's not going to be sex, but I think Marvel needs that kind of tonal diversity, something to balance the other side. Gambit's a great opportunity for that. There's so much you can do with him, and he's slowly being built into the Marvel psyche. It's fascinating, and I think one day they'll figure it out. So that sounds like it was going to be a wild ride. I'm glad it didn't get made because otherwise that wouldn't have all led to Deadpool and Wolverine, his big return, and now him being in Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars. Like, everything worked out, I think, the way it was supposed to work out. Everything kind of happens for a reason type of situation because now he's back and he's loving it. And here, he talks about how he views Gambit and kind of how Gambit's going to be in Avengers Doomsday. It's kind of interesting to hear. Check it out.
And to get to play him again now is even just more delicious than I can even describe. And in a completely different kind of movie, in a way. The Russos,
completely different kind of movie, okay.
Movie than Sean Levy and Ryan Reynolds, and he's still going to be the Cajun. You know, he's still going to be the Raging Cajun. He was the most real out of all of the X-Men to me. He liked women. He smoked. He drank. His moral compass was very gray. He was never going to be a villain. He didn't have the heart to be a villain, but he wasn't exactly a hero, and I think that's very human.
Yeah,
This is Derek Cianfrance, the director of Roofman's Line. He's like, I've never met a hero and I've never met a villain. I've just met humans, so I have stolen that, and yeah, that's why I love Gambit.
Yes, I have stolen that.
Dude, that's well put. I really never knew Gambit's story. I ain't gonna lie, I never knew him like that. All I seen Gambit was in X-Men Wolverine Origins. Like this dude, it felt like he was more like a poker type, like a poker dealer type of dude. He really wasn't like identified as a superhero or a villain. Just like a random person that was like a dealer in that movie of how it showed. And he played good with cards. He had good, like he was kind of like a magician in a way. Gambit was like more like a magician to me. than like a superhero or a villain to me. And then they brought him back in Deadpool and Wolverine as Channing Tatum as Gambit. I like his whole power, his purple power, and they really showed him off in X-Men '97. I really love that film. Dang, Gambit died in that show, dude. I was like, man, I have much more respect for Gambit. Honestly, shoot, I actually really became a Gambit fan watching that show. Can't wait for season 2 to come out, and they're gonna be facing Apocalypse. Okay, I can't wait to see how that Apocalypse worked out. I hope that Apocalypse worked out better than the 2016 X-Men movie of Apocalypse, or how they did him. He looks very different from that costume design in X-Men '97 than the X-Men Apocalypse movie, but can't wait, dude.
So that's how he.
I would be cool. They make it like a Gambit, like an X-Men '97. Well, or just an X-Men Gambit type of show, like animation wise. I ain't gonna lie, I would be there
Kind
for
of
that.
is thinking his character is how Gambit is, and that's how he's going to portray the character. Honestly, I really love it. And he's already said that the accent is going to be toned down for Avengers Doomsday, since Deadpool and Wolverine is, a comedy. It's an action comedy. Ryan Reynolds really went all out with Channing Tatum, telling him to do the accent so hard this time I can't even understand what you're saying. So Channing Tatum's already revealed he's going to dial it back a little, which I think is good for a more serious movie. But now we've learned a little bit about how Channing Tatum's Gambit is going to be. Not necessarily a hero, not a villain per se, but we do know he's going to be a part of the good guys, at least eventually. We'll see what happens originally when he returns. I'm pretty sure he's just going to go with Deadpool and Wolverine, who, Deadpool isn't exactly a hero either, but he is a good guy. And I think the same thing is for Channing Tatum's Gambit. I'm super excited to see him in Avengers Doomsday with Shang Chi and Magneto and Professor X and Deadpool and Wolverine and the Avengers and everything. It's just going to be absolutely crazy. I'm so excited for it. Let me know how excited you are for it in the comments down below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe if you want to stay up to date with all Marvel news. And
I appreciate this video caused me wanting to do. I ain't gonna lie, Shang-Chi and Magneto, that would be a pretty cool fight right there. I'm ready to see that. I'm ready to see that, dude. That would be a pretty cool fight, man. I just thought about it, and he just talked about it later on. I was like, yeah, that would be a cool fight to see. But I got Magneto winning that fight. But I don't know. Probably Magneto probably can't move all the metal in the world, so that's gonna be crazy. And just and Channing Tatum was a pretty good Gambit though. He didn't have a voice for him, but the fighting style he did have it for Gambit. I give it to him. But I would like to see a movie of Channing Tatum's Gambit. That would be pretty cool. And I'm gonna leave it at there. Run the views up for you, boy, and I'll catch y'all later. Peace.